union based that wasn't, kind of great. It was adequate. It was kind of a checkbox solution, but the user experience wasn't great. The exchange rates and the fees weren't great, and we really wanted to find a better solution for our members. So after kind of looking around in the marketplace to see what was available, we got a lot of positive feedback from our members who were already using what was TransferWise at the time and now rebranded as Wise.
Okay.
So we reached out to them to find out if they had any plans to offer their services through partners in the U.S. because they were currently doing a direct-to-consumer offering. And so some of our members, we could see they're already using the service because it would show up in our ACH history files. And so we reached out, and in fact, they were looking to make an entry into the U.S. market, and we were fortunate enough to be the first financial institution in the U.S. to offer this solution to our members through a partnership with Q2.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge! I didn't even know that. That's an even bigger story, Brian.
And in fact, so we did this initially working with Q2, and they then turned it into one of their marketplace solutions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was going to go next. That was my next question. Is like, yeah, this is in Q2's marketplace, so it's pretty cool that it's available there. Also, you also talk about or some efforts that you guys have done: credit card balance transfers and pre-approved credit cards and auto loans. You want to touch on those real quick?
Yeah, sure. We've done a number of things we've done with the Innovation Studio. The credit card balance transfer, as you mentioned, we have an offering called My Offers, which is kind of pre-approved offerings for credit cards and auto loans. So when you show up, we can present to you, hey, you're already qualified for an auto loan or credit card for this amount at this rate. Click here, and we try to take all the friction out of the process so they can kind of quickly take those pre-approved offers. Credit card balance transfers, we have better credit card rates than most financial institutions. And so we want to offer our members the opportunity, if they've already set up credit cards with other financial institutions, to bring them over to Stanford at no cost. And so we worked with the Innovation Studio to develop a custom form that not only made it easy for the member to migrate from their legacy credit card processor, but also to seamlessly integrate with Co-op, who is our credit card processor, so that all the data flowed directly into Co-op. Before that, we had a form, but it was all a manual process where the member would fill in, here's where I have my account, here's my balance. And then in the back end, we would log into Co-op's system to actually execute on behalf of. Now it's a straight through process where the member does it, and there's no human intervention required by our staff, which is a big savings. The member gets faster turnaround and the staff saves time. A couple other things we've done, and we can talk about later, is we came up with an entirely new navigation redesign, and I can show you some screenshots of that. But we deployed with Q2 about 4 years ago and kind of took their out-of-the-box solution, which was a great starting point. But over time, we realized there were some enhancements we wanted to make.
Okay.
And so worked closely with the Innovation Studio based on the market research we did, as well as the UX team at Q2 to come up with the next generation user experience. And then the last one that we just completed and launched this past week was a new membership rewards dashboard. So we have a notion of tiered membership at the credit union, where the more you do with us, the more benefits you get, the better loan and deposit rates, less fees, et cetera. And so one of the things we want to do is, a lot of our members weren't aware of these different programs, what the benefits were and what they could do to qualify at those different levels. So we developed a really compelling dashboard that kind of gamified it, and I'll show you the before and after if you're interested.
Yeah.
But before it was very informational, but it wasn't very inspiring. And we really wanted to make people, have a good positive experience. And so we worked with the innovation team to develop that new dashboard.
Oh my God. Yeah. If you have those screens available right now, we can check them out, or I can put them in post-production, however you want to do.
Sure. I can show you now.
Yeah.
Do a screen share here.
Share. Yeah. So
this is what, Q2's kind of standard out of the box user experience looks like at a top level. And, over time in working with Q2, we added more features and capabilities. And as we did, it became a little bit burdensome for our members. They were saying, gosh, there's so many choices here. and I don't really understand what some of the differences are on these different options. And we did, working with Q2, did a lot of competitive benchmarking. We would look at the mega banks and the fintechs, and then Q2 would be doing research with all of their finance. They have 450, 500 clients and the members of those clients. So we were getting a lot of aggregated input and feedback of things that we could do to make the member experience better. Mm-hmm. So this is the before.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's a lot of choices here, and under some of these choices, I'm not going to be able to click on it because it's the old version. There were lots of subcategories. So open an account, loans and credit cards. And what we found was our members were having a hard time finding what they needed, or even understanding which offering was the right offering for what it was they wanted to accomplish. So now I'll scroll down to what the new user experience looks like. And I actually annotated it to kind of make it a little more clear. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. So you'll see a number of different changes. We got rid of that bar on the left-hand side and moved it up to a top-level nav here across the top with fewer categories, because it was really overwhelming when you had like 12, 15 categories. It's like, well, gosh, I don't know which one. And so we have this, much simpler, cleaner navigation paradigm. And we really try to make it user-friendly. Well, what are you trying to do? You're trying to move money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's bill pay or pay a friend, whatever it is, what you really want to do is move money. So just make it easy for me to say, okay, well, I want to move money.
Right.
And then, likewise with services, if you want to open and apply for an account, try to put it in the vernacular that our members understood. The next thing we did is Q2 recently offered this notion of quick links. So we can do clickstream analysis to understand where our members are spending their time, mm-hmm. and make the features and functions that they use most really quick and easy to get to. So that's what this new quick links bar is. We also added, we have a personal financial management tool, kind of like Quicken or Mint, and it's provided through a partnership with Q2, but we wanted to kind of highlight that and make it more readily available to our members. So we have this integrated personal financial management tile here.
I bet that's popular.
It is very popular. We also added global search, which is something we didn't have before, that we worked with the Innovation Studio to deploy. And then we redesigned what we have here, what's called the right rail, but on the right-hand side, we had what we thought would be the most interesting, but through analysis, not only our members, but the broader Q2 community, and some surveys we did, what are the activities that matter most to the members that they want to be able to get to that aren't necessarily part of the online banking mm-hmm. authenticated experience. They wanted to find out what are our current loan rates, what are our current deposit rates, and some things like, just show me my recent transaction. So again, trying to focus on the things that matter most. So that's the first part. The second part we did was we really refined the user interface, the navigation paradigm. When we were going from that left rail to the top rail and trying to collapse and make them more intuitive, one of the things we heard from our members was, gosh, there's a lot of choices in Move Money, for example. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see on the next page, let me actually scroll down. When you click on any given category, you go to a landing page. Yeah. And the beautiful thing about this landing page, which is one of the new features that Q2 rolled out last year, was they have these descriptive tiles. So before, you might have just seen a link that said transfer funds, deposit checks, but there was no contextual description of what you meant and what was the difference between make a payment and bill pay and pay a friend, right? So we now have an opportunity to describe each of these features. So our initial deployment, and so this is where the user testing comes in, we went directly from this top-level menu to the more detailed page, this interstitial landing page. And one of the things we heard from our members in preliminary testing was, I love this detailed page, but a lot of the times I don't need this because I know what I want to do, mm-hmm. and I don't want to have to go to an interstitial page. So what we said is, okay, can we create a hybrid menu where we, for the people who know how to use the product and what the products do, right, and the ones they use the most, just let them click and go right to it. We don't have to go through this interstitial page. right? So you see this new hybrid, and they developed that with the Innovation Studio specifically for us. This wasn't an out of the box. We developed this together.
Awesome.
So you could say, hey, here are the most common things people do in moving money. And if this isn't one of the things you want to do, there are more options. And when you click on the more options, then you get the more detailed page where you see the full suite of move money options as well as a description of each of them. So that was working back and forth with the Innovation Studio and our members to say, how do we balance the need for letting people do what they want to do really quickly, but at the same time giving them more context and more detail when necessary. So kind of taking this hybrid approach met both of those goals. Right. So that was the kind of innovation we love to do with Q2.
Yeah, that's really smart. Oh,
and then I think that's what I really wanted to show in the navigation. Then I can show you on the membership rewards.
Yeah.
Again, the kind of transition from the legacy basic factual, informational, but not particularly inspiring. This is the membership rewards, and these are the various things that you can do to qualify for different tiers. Right? Do you have a Visa account balance with $2,500, or are you spending at least $500 a month? Do you have a consumer loan? Do you have an investment account? Do you have a mortgage? Right? And it was just kind of factual. Yes, no, do, no. Right? And that's good. It's helpful. But if you compare that to what we now have, where we really tried to gamify it, is a much more engaging kind of visual representation, not only of the different categories, but the description of the categories and the little kind of reward buttons. If you actually qualify, those will light up in gold, and it makes it much more visual and compelling. And then one step beyond that, if you want to find out how you did on any of these categories, you can click on it and it will show you. For a credit card balance, what was your balance and what kind of transaction history do you have? So it's going to be very easy for you to figure out which are the easiest ones for you to qualify. Yeah. Right. If you're in we have 3 tiers. It's kind of the, silver, gold, platinum. If you're in the silver, you can go figure out what's the quickest way for you to get to gold. Is it by more debit card transactions? Is it by more credit card transactions? Is it by getting an auto loan? So the idea is to kind of make this more self-serve, so the members can find out for themselves what's the easiest, best way to get to the highest tier that gets them the most benefit.
Oh, completely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's cool.
So those are some of the things that we've done recently that we're kind of happy.
Now, how have these enhancements, do you have any results type data or anything like that for these enhancements? Because it sounds like you've you streamlined it, made it much more easier, much more user-friendly, all those buzzwords. So how has it benefited you guys in the long run here?
Yeah, I think the most clear indication is, very positive anecdotal feedback. So we do monthly NPS ratings with our members, and they rank us on our products as well as our online services. So they'll tell us, they like our credit card rates or they don't, and they like our mobile experience or our desktop experience or they don't. And just an overwhelming positive response from